And welcome back. This is Money Monday, your go-to show for financial tips, expert wisdoms. This way I give you the tips as a business person, as a day-to-day person, as an individual, as an investor, on the strategies that you can use in order to secure our financial future. That is what we do here in Money Monday. We help you unlock success and accumulate wealth. And today, being on a Money Monday and on an Easter, let's do things a little bit differently today. Well, I'm alone. I love seeing a guest. Niko peke yangu, but we're going to do something amazing, something unique today. We're going to do a book review that is The Atomic Habits. You all know that book, but if you don't know that book, after the show, make sure that umetafute hiyo kitabu. But let's do that book review, the book review of The Atomic Habits. This is a book written by James Clear. And, we're going to link habits that are written in the Atomic Habits, your kitabu. We link it with financial growth and discipline that you require in order to grow. You're asking yourself, who should be listening to me this early, beautiful morning? Anyone struggling to save or stick to your budget? Ikifika hapo kwa sticking to your budget, I don't know kama ukienda pale kwa supermarket, you've budgeted to do a shopping at 10,000, I don't know kama una stick na your budget, ama on your payment, on your salary, you have that budget yenye umeandika, hii itaenda kwa nguo, hii itaenda kwa school fees, hii itaenda kwa saving, hii itaenda kwa investment. How often do you stick to your budget? How often do you stick to a budget? And when it comes to saving, do you save? Do you spend your money, then you save? Ama do you save, then you spend your money? Between the two, because those are two different things. And then secondly, to a youth who think that they need a big income in order to build wealth. Okay, this does not apply only to youth. Many people think that I need millions in order to build wealth. I need to be employed. I need 30,000 in a month. I need 60,000 in a month so that he can build wealth. That is the mentality that probably we're about to debunk in, by the end of the show. And thirdly, people who give up in their financial growth. Financial growth, the reason we're using Atomic Habits, you need to have habits so that you can grow each and every day. You need to be consistent each and every day. That's what I'm saying. People who give up on their financial growth, una save, and then you get tired. You say, probably this is not working. Mama, save, let's say ulianza na 1,000. Unajua, kwa wale watu wenye wana save less money, compound the interest ikwangi kubwa sana. Yani you'll not see the results immediately compared na ule mtu mwenye ana save lump sum mwenye anajua after 3 months nitakuwa na hii pesa mingi. These are the things that make a person to give up on their financial growth. Ama you feel like I don't have money, probably things might not work out for me. That's why today we're doing a book review of The Atomic Habits by James Clear. And we're thinking the topic that we're going, our area of focus, that is how small daily money habits can lead to financial freedom. Which are these habits? Because lazima ukuwe na habits when it comes to the area of finance. Just like your life, in all spheres of life, kuna zile habits zenye wewe ufanya, even at a personal level. There are habits that we have, but people don't know that ikifika kwa pesa pia kuna habits. And that's why today we're focusing on how small daily habits, money habits, can lead to financial freedom. And we're going to link up, that is this book, Atomic Habits. And when you go to the first pages of the Atomic Habits, that is James Clear. He has a central message. Na yeye yusema that you don't need to be rich. You need to be consistent. You don't need to be rich to start. People assume that for me to be a millionaire, lazima ni kuwe na hii kazi kubwa. I must be employed, earning a lot of money. But James Clear is telling us that you don't need to be rich to start. And when it comes to rich, he has brought us to a different angle, the definition of being rich and being a millionaire. People have this mentality of being rich, it's having lots of money. But here anatuambia, for how long can you stay without that money and without that wealth? That is the definition of being wealth and being rich. This brings us to different angle. And still on that, he adds and says that financial freedom isn't about big leaps. It's about smart and repeatable steps. It's about small starts. smart, you make anasema it's about smart and repeatable steps. Let's talk about the repeatable steps. Let me give an example with saving. You know, well, when I say, because I'm employed, I'm a day-to-day person, you're a mama mboga out there, you say, mimi nitakuwa na save, let's say 500 every month, or let's say as a simple amount, or let's say 100 shillings. You say that I'll be saving 100 shillings each and every day. Then something happens, you get an emergency, unasikia kuna committee ya kuchanga pesa za harusi. Unasema, because I've saved this amount, by the end of the week, let's say you have 700 shillings. Wewe umetoa hiyo pesa yote imeenda huko. Where is your saving? Saving yako imeenda wapi? Ama you get an emergency. Let's say someone is sick. Unatumia pesa yako ya saving. That's why anatuambia that you need to be smart. Being smart is you having this mentality. Savings ni savings. Mimi nimesave pesa. Kwa hivyo, when you save your money, you're saving it for a different reason. Probably, number one, you have a specific goal that you have to achieve in the next, let's say in the next 3 months, in the next 2 years. So when it comes to savings, kuna vitu tofauti zenye zitakwambia which kind of plan are you going to use, you know. Utatumia gani depending on the goal that you have, because when it comes to saving, we have different accounts. We have fixed account, now we have a flexible account. So it's for you, utajua I have a goal in the next 3 years, so what am I going to do? I'm going to use a fixed account. But unajua hizi pesa ninataka kufanya something, ama ninataka kuongezea stock in my business in the next 3 months. So this tells you that you don't have to put your money in the fixed account. You're going to put your money in the flexible account. These are the things that you're supposed to consider. I love hapo kwa saving. Make sure that you have an emergency account, so that imambo ya sickness, these things that comes up zenye hatuwezi potele, things to do with weddings, mazishi and other things, at least azitaguza saving yako kidogo. That is what he said. And then to add in that, because amesema financial freedom isn't about big leaps. You don't have to save 1 million in a month. You don't have to save 50,000 in a month. Start with that as a young person. Start na hiyo 50 bob, you know. You know, if you are employed, start with that 2,000, start with that 3,000. You know, as a mama mboga, why don't you enter in a chama? You'll be saving, let's say, 500 shillings. Tumekuwa na series of guests here in Money Monday. Na metuambia the power of repeating. Saving. Now, bado, you remember there is a time tulikuwa na guest in Money Monday, alituambia the power of compounding. Wewe unaweza kuwa una save 100 shillings each and every day. You might not see the power of compounding, because, you know, how just save lump sum, so you won't see the results immediately. So when it comes to those people that are not saving big amounts, you need to be saving each and every day, so that probably by the end of the year, you can feel the tangible results of your money. So for you, before party wants to save you 30,000, why don't you start with that small amount? And now let's go to another thing. In the middle pages, where James Clear, the author of the Atomic Habits, he tells us, anatuambia that there's a specific law yameaddress when it comes to money. That is law habits formation. Na money lessons zenye ameaddress. Number one law. Law number one yamesema, make it obvious. Track your spending. Make sure that you have a way of tracking your spendings. And you know, we have different apps zenye zinaweza kusaidia as an individual to track your spending. Let me give you an example. We have apps ukienda kwa Play Store, like let me give an example that is Monify. We have that is Spendy. The good thing with Spendy, it helps you to link you can link the app with your bank account. These are the apps that zinaweza kusaidia, so that you can track your spending. Hii mwezi nimetumia pesa hivi na hivi. Did I stick to my budget? No or yes? And if it's a no, why did I not stick to my budget? What could have happened in between, and how can I avoid it next time? Secondly, thirdly, we have another app in it, Money Manager. So the good thing with this, inakusaidia to manage your expenses, and at least inakusaidia to create a budget. Number 4, we have another app that is called that is Wallet by Budget Bankers. That is another app that you can use. Inakusaidia, the good thing with it, apart from tracking your expenses, helping you creating a budget, inakusaidia to set financial goals that you have. Probably unajiambia I want to save 30,000. Inakusaidia, actually it gives you a reminder each and every day that you're supposed to save this because of this and that and that. Another thing, that law number 2, actually before we go to another law, anasema know where your money goes. Start with spending tracker. That is what you have said. Alafu anatuambia visibility equals to control. You need to have control of your money. You know, at least if you know, hii pesa nimeitumia hivi na hivi, last month nilitumia hii pesa ikaenda hapa, ikaenda kwa school fees, ikaenda kwa biashara. At least you can see where your money are going. Imagine umepata pesa. Do you know there are people out there, sorry to say, wewe unalipwa, you know, you're working somewhere. You get that 10,000 in a month, or you get that 5,000, or you get that 30,000. Ukilipo ujui kwenye pesa imeenda. Actually, you cannot give an account of where your money are going. Why? You don't track where you don't have a tracker. You don't keep records on how you're spending your money. That's when unapata mtu amelipwa end month imefika, or kuna watu lipwa date 1. By the time inafika date 15, huyu mtu ameanza kwenda kwa loans. Huyu mtu ajui atafanya nini, ajui ataenda wapi. You start going to asking money, borrowing money from friends and families, and now people keep on wondering, wewe kwani pesa zako zinaenda wapi? I don't know if you've come across these people. You know, this person is working, na unajua ni end month amelipwa, but by the time inafika date 5, this person wants you to lend him or her money, and you're asking yourself, what could be the problem? Number 1, that person is not keeping track and records on how they're spending their monies, and that's why nyinyi mtajikuta, kuna mtu atajikuta anaenda anaomba pesa kwa bank, anaenda anaomba pesa kwa loan, kwa chamas, circles. So wewe pesa yako, mshahara yako, ama kama wewe mwana biashara, pesa yako inaenda yote kwa loan. So you don't have visibility on how you're spending your money, and that's why James Clear, the author of the Atomic Habits, he's saying that visibility equals to control. You have control on your money, you have control on how you're spending your money, and there's nothing good like having control compared to a person mwenye hana control na pesa yake. Hiyo pesa ikikuja imeenda juu kwenye imeenda. And now there's a habit tip yenye ametupa James Clear anapatia watu. Anaambia watu place your budget tracker where you see it daily. Make sure that either it's on your phone. Set that reminder. Write it down that you see each and every day. Make sure that you do a review each and every day. Kama umejiambia nataka kusave me each and every day, you know, ukisha save your mia, at least write down and remind yourself, la, nimesave 100 bob from what I had planned, you know. And now let's go to number 2. Loan, that is law number 2. He's saying that make it attractive. Attach joy to saving. Do you know, most people see saving as a punishment. Let me say punishment, or it's so boring, like it's so hard. They're out there that make it attractive. You know, and saving isn't boring. Saving is freedom. That you remind yourself each and every day. Because tukianza, I had said that when we save, we're saving for different reasons and for different goals, for different objectives. And you know, we usually say that every coin saved is a step towards financial independence. If you said that in your mentality, ujikumbushe that today I've saved this amount, you know, na si eti niko na pesa mingi sana. What about tomorrow if I have that million, if I have millions? That is the good thing. That's why he's saying that saving isn't boring. It's freedom. When you save today, you're securing your financial future. That is your tomorrow. Because let's say, for example, you have a goal in the next 5 years to buy a car. Let's say probably you want to buy a car or a land, and you're saving. Will that nani atakuwa benefited in the next 5 years? Even if it's going to affect your salary in a, let's say, in a big way and in a small way, at least you're securing your financial future. If you buy a land, if you buy a car, ni wewe utasaidika. Then he says that reward yourself for the milestones. You know, let's say save that is monthly. Let's say there's this amount you have been saving 1,000 every month. By the time inafika na ulikuwa umechukua a fixed account that is, let's say, for example, ni 1 year, yeah, let's give an example on 1 year. You know what, apart from taking this money to the other to that project that ulikuwa umesema, let's say umesave 100,000 and umesave 50,000, why don't you start by, let's say, take 5,000, that is what James Clear says, and appreciate yourself, so that you won't find saving boring, because utasema, mimi na save juu project, so I don't see the good thing in it, I don't see the benefit, how this benefiting me apart from the project. James Clear, he's telling us that start by appreciating yourself. After that is number one. Usisave monthly lifetime unasema because I saved 1,000 mimi nitachukuanga 500 then I appreciate myself. No. Let's say mimi nimesema, James Clear anatuambia, let's say for example, he's giving an example, ulikuwa umesave for 1 year, that is a fixed account, na ulikuwa umesave 100,000, 50,000, 30,000. Number one, give yourself like a small token so that you won't find it boring, you won't find saving boring. And he's telling us again, join a saving challenge with friends to keep it fun. Kwa watu wenyewe, usually ask yourself, by the way, kwa nini watu wanaingia kwa machama? I think chamas sometimes they sound fun because you have this motivation. Unajua uko na hii mentality, yani sipotoa pesa kuda mtu mwingine ataumia, you know. At least it's fun, it gives you motivation. You have people who keep you in check in each and every day, you know, because it's a chama, mko na watu wengi sana. This way people join these small chamas, you know, to the mama mbogas, to the friends, join these small chamas out there. That is what James Clear anatuambia. And now law number 3, he says make it easy, automate your finances. Na anatuambia start with small amounts, you know, let's say 50 per day, actually pia anasema 60 bob per day, 70 bob per day. Na anatuambia simply pick one financial goal, you know. Uki save pesa, actually what he's trying to mean, that is what just to echo what I say nilisema a few minutes ago. Divide your money. Hii pesa inaenda kwa emergency funds, inaenda kwa savings, inaenda kwa school fees. Like pick a goal, pick a specific goal. Why am I saving? Why am I doing this and that? At least that thing will give you motivation. Ukijua una save for school fees kama sasa hivi shule zimefungwa, you want to just spend that money on other things, you know, going out for fun and holidays. You want to do that because this is reminding you there's something that is coming up. You're on school fees, you know, watoto wanafungua shule. At least when you save for school fees, there is a specific objective rather than saving without a specific goal. And that's why if anything comes up, utajikuta umetumia hiyo pesa yote. That is what James Clear anajaribu kumaanisha. And law number 4, he's telling us that make it satisfying, celebrate the progress. Na anatuambia see your money grow. Anatuambia when you see your money grow, it equals to motivation. So this goes to those people that wamesave kwa insurance, watu wamesave kwa bank, watu wamesave kwa circles. You know, there are people who save every month, but they never check on how their money grow. You know, because okay, let's say basi una save 1,000 and that you don't feel the impact of compounding interest. Even if you hata utenda upate imeongezeka na shilingi 2 ama na shilingi 5, at least that gives you motivation, because hiyo shilingi 2 hiyo shilingi 5 iko hapo, at least it is giving you the motivation to save each and every day. That's why anatuambia that when you see your money grow, it equals to motivation. Make sure that you be checking. Kuna watu wameweka pesa na hawajui pesa zao saini ngapi, you know. Kuna mtu amesave 100,000 in a year, but hata hizi kuambia interest ngapi. Make sure that you be checking your money. If you're saving daily, angalia pesa yako ina grow aje. If you're saving monthly, make sure that you be checking your month. Kwa watu wamechukua fixed account, make sure that you be checking your accounts, let's say after 3 months, be checking your accounts so that it gives you motivation. Alafu anatuambia share your wins with accountability partners. This reminds that us as individuals, we need to have accountability partners, and not only accountability partners, and pia financial advisors. You need people to keep you in check. Do you have mentors? You know, do you have financial advisors to keep you in check? Be watching a show like Money Monday. We usually bring different guests each and every Monday, you know, to number one, they at least they give you the wisdom on how to do things, you know. Make sure that you be listening to these people, the financial advisors. Before you start saving, unamuliza, what can I do? You know, I want to save for this project. Which app can I use? Which account can I use? What can I do? Is this the right way? And that is what James Clear is trying to communicate. So we are going for a short break, but in case you have any, in case something has sparkled in your interest, or you have any questions, get to talk to us on 0799-200, that is the WhatsApp number, and still on social media handles, that is on Facebook and Mizpah, our Facebook, that is on Facebook and YouTube at Mizpah TV Kenya. Then when you come back to Tangalia money habits that build success. Stay tuned, but we'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned. Back, and this is Money Monday, and today, as I said, we're doing a book review that is The Atomic Habits, written by James Clear. But leo tunaleta the habits in the side your finance, because as I said, we need habits everywhere in all spheres of life. The same way applies to finance. Now, before we went for the short break, and when you come back to Tangalia, that is money habits to build as an individual, as an investor, as a day-to-day person, you know, as a young person, as a mamboga, you know, there are habits that you need to build on. That is from James Clear. Number one, he says, save before you spend. Many of you, do you save before you spend, or do you spend then you save? Ile pesa yenye inabaki ile ya mwisho unasema hiyo ndio una save. The coins zenye zimebaki, mashilingi zenye zimebaki ndio una save. You know, or do you have a discipline? You umesema immediately I receive my salary, 2,000 goes to saving. You know, this is something that James Clear jaribu kukumbusha watu. You need to save before you spend. That is a discipline. That is a habit that you must have. That actually makes it different from the rest, because sometimes wezapata wewe mwenye unasema that I'll spend then I save. Hizo pesa zikiisha utasema pesa zikiisha mimi sita save. So what are you going to do? Meaning that month, the whole of that month, hauta save. Unasema wacha ningoje next time. Next time the same thing happens. You spend money, zinaisha zote, unasema hazikubaki, so I'm not going to save for this month. James Clear is reminding us that we save before we spend. And then he says, his echoes and says that budget weekly. And he says not monthly. Asema it's easier and clearer. Why? It keeps you in check. It keeps you, actually it reminds you every week unajikumbusha. And actually anatuambia, if you're doing it, we eat weekly, we do it probably on Mondays or Sundays, so that the whole of the week tutakuwa na budget, you know. That's why he's saying that it is easier and clearer, because let's say today it's on a Monday, na wewe umeanza ku budget leo, unasema hii pesa nitatumia kufanya hii, Monday nitafanya hii, na Tuesday I'll do this and that, you know, Wednesday I'll do this and that. Now to those who are saving daily, pesa yote yenye nitapata, let's say usually earn 500 each and every day, say 100 shilling I'll be saving each and every day. At least it's clear and easy, you know, compared na mtu mwenye anaanza on Wednesday. That's why he's saying either Mondays or Sundays, so that you can be clear on the planning yuko nayo kwa wiki. And then anatuambia avoid impulse buying. Na anatuambia wait 24 hours before any major purchase. That is what James Clear is telling us. Have you ever realized that if you don't have a plan when it comes to finances, wewe ukienda town upatane na anything unanunua, not because that thing is good, it's because you don't have a plan. Ebu try planning your finances. It will keep you disciplined, it will keep you in check. Ukienda town hakuna kitu yenye hata upatane na kitu mzuri aje hutanunua. And sometimes, you know, the funny thing, the things that you're buying probably ni kale imekufurahisha umenunua, not because you really need that thing, you know, or that the ama huyo mwenye anakuzia, that person is really persuasive, and then ukienda kwa nyumba you realize, oh my goodness, I have the same t-shirt with the same color, the only thing yenye iko na difference yenye umenunua ni nini? Probably it's the art ama color hazifanani, but unapata they're the same. And then that's how you end up ruining your budget. Why? Because you don't have you have not planned, and you don't stick to your budget. That's why natuambia, let's review a budget each and every day. Kama you know you love buying clothes, you know, it's something that you cannot avoid. Why don't you be doing let's give an example. If you're earning 5,000 basi, weka 1,000 ikwe ya manguo. ndio unajua ukitumia hiyo pesa ya manguo on other things, hiyo mwezi utanunua nguo, you know, so that at least you can be clear and straight on how you're going to manage your finances and other things. And then the good thing with James Clear, their money related quotes zenye ametupatia, and let me share with you. He tells us that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This is interesting. Wacha tufafanue what this quote means. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You know, what are goals? Goals are what you want to achieve. Probably, let's say in the next 3 months, in the next 1 year, in the next 5 years. Those are what we call goals. You know, the things that you want to do in the future, the things that you want to achieve as a person, as an investor, as a business person. Probably unataka kuongezea stock. In the next 1 month, as an individual, you want to have saved this amount, you want to have purchased this thing. He's telling us that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Systems, now these are how you achieve them, on how you achieve the goals. And he tells us, if your systems, what are your systems? That is your daily actions, discipline when it comes to managing money, and your planning, you know, is weak or inconsistent, you will struggle. Even if you have a very beautiful goal, even if you have a big goal, a big vision, you want to become the next millionaire in the next 5 years, you want to have built this mansion, you want to have built this car. If your systems are weak, you know, the actions that you're making each and every day when it comes to money, probably the daily action, you're a spendthrift, even you don't budget, you don't plan, you don't do anything, you know. As a young person, you don't go out there but you want to achieve those dreams, you know, that cannot happen. And still bado hapo kwa discipline, unatuambia that you need discipline when it comes to finances, so that this actually, he has categorized that is your systems. They are the daily actions that you do as an individual, and that's why amezieka kwa side ya habits, because the things that you do each and every day, they help you to become a better person in the future. That's why natuambia that if they are weak and inconsistent, then how will you achieve your goals? And that's actually, he's saying that even if you have a big goal, even if you have a beautiful goal, you know, even if it's good, it's hard to achieve. Why? You don't have planning, you don't do you don't stick to your plan. That is another thing. So anatuambia, if you don't stick to your plan, make sure that you have people that keep you in check, so that at least watakusaidia kidogo, people who understand your vision kidogo. Kwa hivyo ana try to bring this aspect. The people that are surrounding us, are they people that help you become that greater person in the future? You know, are they people are they walking in that path of becoming financially independent people, you know, becoming a greater investor? Are the people who are making you go south from the planning you nayo? So anatuambia that we keep that in check. Alafu anatuambia every financial decision is a vote to your future self. Just as I said, when it comes to mambo ya saving, every coin saved, hata kama niyo shilingi 10, hata kama niyo shilingi 1, it is a step towards financial future, and it complements what James Clear is saying. Anatuambia every financial decision is a vote to your financial self. Every decision that he's saying every financial decision is a vote for your future self. Meaning that every decision that you make, everything that you do at this moment, you know, when it comes to the world of finance, you know, finance imezunguka na mambo mingi. Let's say as a business person, you know, do you combine that as a business person? Do you combine personal finances and business finances? Because these are two different worlds, but most people unapata hiyo namba yako ya MPESA, hiyo nye mtu akitaka kukununulia soda, hiyo ndio utamwambia tume. That is the same place kwenye pesa ya biashara inaingia. Mtu akitaka kutuma pesa ya biashara, hapo ndio inatuma yote. It's bringing us to that aspect that just as what he's saying, that we need to be so careful, especially to the business people. Stop combining pesa ya biashara na pesa yako personal, pesa yako binafsi. Stop combining this money, because it affects the business. Utajikuta umetumia pesa ya biashara. I don't know if you've ever got yourself umetumia pesa ya biashara, then unasema nitarudisha, and you know that is a lie. Most of the people, they don't return, and that's why he's saying that every financial decision is a vote to your future self. every decision, even the future of that business, not only the future self, you as an individual, the future of that business, the decision that you make. Wewe unatumia pesa ya stock kununua manguo zako, unatumia pesa ya biashara, to take your kids to school, That's why when it comes to business, there's a time tulikuwa na guest hapa na katuambia, for the business people, so that you not end up kutumia pesa ya biashara, make sure that as a business owner, you also pay yourself as an employer. Make sure that you pay yourself, so that utaona ni kama hii biashara hikulete returns. Make sure that you pay yourself, pay the employees that you have, then pesa ya stock iende kwa stock, pesa ya investment iende kwa investments, because even for businesses, you need to invest in other, in banks and in other places. You need to invest that money, so that uta feel like this business, it's only business, but it's not giving you returns. Because there are many people, like there's a friend of mine, alikuwa anasema that akona biashara, but you don't feel the impact of having this business. Why? The decisions that you're making. And still kwa hiyo mambo ya future self, as an individual, as a day-to-day person, you need to make steps, because these steps determine your future self. That is saving, that is investment, that is planning, that is budgeting. That's why James Clear anatuambia, you need to become financially independent in the future. How are you going to do that? Even these people that you see, these big millionaires that you see out there, they started somewhere. Small habits, they create something big in the future. They started somewhere. That is, just, I don't know, the mentality of people, if you see a millionaire, you think that mtu aliangukia in a silver plate. This person did not start somewhere. These people started somewhere, and that's why they are great and successful. And if you go and do your research on these great and successful people when it comes to the world of finance and business, number one, they have savings account. Number two, they have this discipline. When it comes to financial decisions, they don't interfere with the personal decisions. Wanasema, mimi leo nasikia kwenda out. I feel like going out, I need to satisfy myself. So, wacha nitumie pesa ya biashara. No. They have a way of doing it. And another thing, what James Clear is saying, habits, actually this is very interesting. He's saying habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. What does this mean? Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. He's trying to mean small actions equals to big impact. That thing that you're doing every day, just as I have said, when you wanna save, that is 100 shillings each and every day, or let's say you're saving 1,000 every month. By the time inafika the end of the year, utapata pesa yako na kuna hiyo interest yenye itakuwa accumulate. At least that is going to give you a motivation to be saving each and every day, right? And it means that each tiny habit, is like reading one page each and every day. Just the way watu soma Biblia kila siku, reading one page each and every day. Finally utakuta umemaliza. It builds up over time, become a great reader of the word. That applies here. Alafu bado on the same, he explains and say exponential growth. When it comes to exponential growth, then tuambia, just as interest on money earns interest on itself, consistent habits multiply your progress. Consistent habits multiply your progress. It means that you need to have this discipline. If you're consistent in doing a thing, if you're consistent in saving, if you're consistent in your business, or consistent in pushing that dream that you have, it means that it's going to multiply your progress. And for your progress to be multiplied, it means that you're consistent and disciplined. So discipline and consistency, there are two things zenye lazima zifuatane. If you're a person ulikuwa umezoea kuchanganya pesa ya biashara na pesa yako binafsi, separating this will be hard, but consistency each and every day, reminding yourself that hata kama niko na shida, ile pesa ya biashara unafunga tu macho unasema sina pesa, it multiply your progress, leading to what he's saying, leading to dramatic improvements later. Sometimes you might not feel the tangible results immediately, but patience is the key to everything. And still on that, anasema that anatuambia consistency over intensity. A simple habit performed daily compounds far more than sporadic intense effort. What he's trying to mean, a habit yenye ni kila siku, it compounds each and every day. And I've said, you might not feel the tangible results immediately. You might not feel unaweza jiambia mimi nimekuwa nikifanya hii na hii, I've been trying to stick to my budget. But there's nothing hard like trying to stick to a budget. But I don't see the difference. You may not see the difference immediately, but when you do it over and over and over again, that is when you realize, oh, there's something different, there's a growth in my finance. Kuna pesa yenye ilikuwa inaenda kwa vitu zingine, but you start feeling there's a tangible result later. Then anatuambia momentum builds, and he says early gains may feel slow or barely noticeable, but as you keep going, the cumulative effects accelerate results. Let me repeat on what you said. Early gains may feel slow. Yeah, sometimes they may feel slow, especially when it comes to saving, or barely noticeable, but as you keep going, the cumulative effect accelerate your results. So kwa watu wenye tulisema before we end for a break, tulikuwa tumesema kwa watu wenye angalia pesa zao, make sure that you be checking your money each and every day. Sometimes it's so I don't know the right term to use that. Save 1000 alafu ukienda kuangalia tuseme kama leo unapata imeongezeka na shilingi moja, ndio asking yourself, sasa shilingi moja na 1000 yenye mimi nimesave ni gani mingi? And unajambia let me try to do something else juu hii shilingi moja. No, but what he's telling us that momentum builds, and he says that early gains may feel slow or barely noticeable, but as you keep going, the cumulative effect accelerates your results. It means that you need to be persistent, you need to be consistent, we need to be patient. Actually, it comes to pesa na saving, you need to be patient and consistent. Alafu, still he says, habits accumulate success. Habits accumulate success. For you to be successful, they are habits. And he's saying habits accumulate success. And he's saying by embedding positive behaviors into our daily routines, you remove reliance on the willpower to make your progress inevitable. Let me repeat. He's saying by embedding positive behaviors. Which are the positive behaviors? Avoiding impulse buying. Ile mambo ya kwenda town unanunua anything yenye unataka. You avoid that. Not sticking to your budget. These are the things that you avoid. You start sticking to a budget. Not having a plan. Not having a budget. These are the things that you're supposed to consider as a day-to-day person. As a day-to-day person, probably you consider mambo ya saving. You start considering that. You stop living planless. I don't know if that is the right terms. You stop living without a plan. Yeah, you stop living without a plan. And that's why he's saying that positive behaviors into routines. You remove reliance on willpower. Kwa willpower, I think what he's trying to mean have you ever ile feeling ya kuna pesa ya biashara na unasikia kwenda out, this season it's actually today's on Easter, and you feel like as a business person, let's say for example you're a parent, uko na pesa ya biashara but huna pesa zako binafsi, you feel like I need to take my kids out. You feel like you have that will to take your kids out, but unafaa ujikumbusha hii ni pesa ya biashara. And that's why he said that you remove the reliance on willpower as an individual. That means if you have a plan, if you have a plan and you have this budget, especially kwa mambo ya biashara, utajikuta because seasons are there, especially for parents. Umepeleka watoto out na pesa ya biashara, unasema that I believe that God is going to make a way, I'm going to make sense. You remove that mentality because that's how businesses end up shutting. Unajiuliza kwa nini mtu amefanya biashara? And there's a time on Monday we had a business analyst na alikuwa anasema most of the businesses out here huwa zinaenda, let's say probably 3 months. Hizo ni zile biashara kidogo, the small SMEs, the micro small SMEs zimeenda, that is 3 months. Yenye inaenda sana inaenda let's say 1 year, then inafungwa. Ama not to the wale SMEs wenye wame advance kidogo zinaenda 2 years to 3 years, then zinafungwa. Why? There's these small mistakes and these small habits zenye tuna make. And that's why he's telling us that we need to change that every day, so that kusikuwa na biashara mingi zinafungwa. Probably you're watching and no ulifunga biashara in the last biashara yako ilimaliza 3 months alafu ukafunga ukaenda kwa biashara nyingine, and you're asking yourself why. Number one, probably you did not stick to your budget when it comes to the business. Ulichanganya pesa za biashara, and that's why natuambia remove the reliance on willpower and make progress nearly inevitable. And then he says failures compound too. You know, failure actually, but do you know failure is a prerequisite to success, either to an individual, either to a day-to-day person, either to a young person. Failure is a prerequisite to success. And anatumia failure compound too. And saying skipping good habits or falling into bad ones also builds up. And sema small lapses can erode progress quickly if unchecked. And that's why tunaambiangwa as an individual, ama kama wacha tutumie example kwa mwenye alianza biashara then that business failed in, let's say hata kuna watu wenye failed in 2 weeks. You should check on your failures, you know, ask yourself, why did this work? Why did this not work? Why did this business fail? What are the mistakes that I made? Because we need to learn from the mistakes, or even learn from the mistakes of others. And that's why there's that time tulikuwa na guest hapa akatuambia, as a business person, you want to start that business, make sure that you check. Actually, alisema most of the people wakifanya research za biashara, you don't go and check the businesses that failed. Most of us, what we focus on, tunaangalia biashara zili succeed. You know, forgetting that we can also learn from the businesses that failed, so that if you want to start the same business, you won't end up pia wewe kuanguka, because many people fail because they don't check on the failures. Wewe unaenda unaangalia ile biashara yenye unaangalia, kama let's say you want to start a supermarket, unaenda unaangalia the supermarkets that are existing saying they're successful. You don't check on the supermarkets that they closed. Kuna supermarkets zilifungwa, and you ask yourself, why did they fail? Why were they closed? Those are the things that tunafaa kuangalia. And that's why he's saying that small lapses can erode. Make sure that you learn from your mistakes. If your business has not been productive, why has my business not been productive? Have I been the one the reason why this business is not progressing or succeeding? These are the things that you're supposed to be checking as individuals, as a business person, as an investor. Maybe ulienda uka invest pesa mahali, then ukaoshwa. You know, these are the things that you're supposed to check. What are the things that you're supposed to consider before you go and you invest your money somewhere? We had a guest here in Monday alituambia, make sure that you check places zimekuwa listed by the government. Wewe tu ulikimbia ukaona their ads was zinakuja, investor 1 million get 5 million in 1 month. You do not even consider asking a financial advisor. And that's why anasema that they can erode progress if quickly unchecked. So meaning it is affect as a day-to-day person, it is affect an individual, it is affect a business person. You know, even young people, when it comes where adi imepita hapo umeenda mbio umeangalia. So he's telling us that you're supposed to check. And as we wind up, we have 2 minutes, and anatuambia long-term focus. We should have a long-term focus, and he says embracing habits shifts your mindset from seeking quick wins to valuing continual incremental growth that pays dividends over a lifetime. I love that. Let me repeat here. Said embracing habits, these good habits is a two tumezisema hapa. Discipline, focus, you know, having goals, checking your systems. Systems tulisema ni how do you do it? The how are the systems, your daily actions. Embracing habits shifts your mindset from seeking quick wins. Umefungua biashara ijakupea results immediately, umefunga umeachana na unasema this is not my path, I cannot do it. You know, as an individual umeanza kusave, interest iko chini sana, you want the big interest, umeenda umeacha kusave. He's saying that embracing habits shift your mindset from seeking quick wins, the quick wins. Kwa hivyo anatuambia number 1, let's appreciate the small wins that we have as an individual. Hata wewe kusave your 10 bob, hata kusave your 50 bob, saving that 100,000, the small wins, let's embrace them, let's appreciate ourselves. Seeking quick wins to valuing continual incremental growth that pays dividends over a lifetime. that is how we wind up doing the review, the Atomic Habits. I believe that you have learned a lot. I've also learned a lot when it comes to this book review, the Atomic Habits. And probably you can share with us on the comment section. What is that one thing that you have learned on finances? What are the habits that you feel as an individual you're doing, and it's high time you debunk? It's high time you change. And what is that law? Kwa zile laws zenye tulikuwa tunazisoma. What is that one law that you're going to apply? Is it saving 100 bob daily? Opening an account? I really want to hear from you. Then itazisoma next Monday. That is on 0799200100. That is our WhatsApp number. And still on social media platforms. That is on Facebook and YouTube at Mizpah TV Kenya. I'm Angela Kabete, and I had an amazing time interacting with you and reviewing this book. That is The Atomic Habits by the author, that is James Clear. Happy Easter, you and your loved ones. Till next time, God bless you abundantly. Bye-bye.